My name is Dan Hafley. I am Secretary of the Board of Directors for the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary Foundation. These honorees really represent the best of the sanctuary. The sanctuary isn't just water and species and habitats and watersheds and all the things that we associate with it, research, resource protection, and education. It's the people that make that work. And the people have to have special gifts, and they have to be willing to share those gifts with the rest of the world to make this sanctuary work. And that's what these honorees do. These are incredible people, and thank you for being part of honoring them.
The health of our oceans is the health of us. So whether you live in Nevada or you live in California on the coastline, the health of our oceans is critically important to the longevity and the health of our people. And we talk about plastics and ocean pollution and things like that. And then we come to understand that microplastics are ending up in the fish that we're eating now. And then we find out a big source of microplastics are the very thing we each of us have in our home, and they're called a clothes washer. And the microfabrics come out of the clothes we wear in a very simple little object of about $65 you add to your drain on your washing machine captures those microplastics. And so as we learn more of that, the importance of what we do is communicating those little things out that we can all make a difference. The call for action is, what can I do today to make a change? And not make it so huge and insurmountable. It is really easy to reduce our usage of these things that are getting into the water that's hurting us. You can't just look at government and say they need to do this or do that. We are the government. We are the people that own this. This is public trust. And I think the sooner people realize that and they take ownership just like their own home, the better we'll all be.
Well, the sanctuary is incredibly important to me because the ocean's just so important to our planet, and I feel as though there's not always a lot of knowledge about what's in the ocean or why the ocean is so unique and special, especially within the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So what I think is most important about what the sanctuary does is really more about how the sanctuary came into being, and it was really all from public participation. Once upon a time, there was a threat of offshore oil drilling off our coastline, and the public got together and decided that they wanted to protect our coastline, and the establishment of a sanctuary was really one of the best ways to do that. And so I really want people to understand the impacts to our local sanctuary, to our local oceans, because they are such wonderful places, and they are just so full of life.
Sound is essential to marine life, and therefore to our stewardship of marine life. And one of the ways to understand life in the ocean is to listen to it. I got into science in the first place because I wanted to work in science toward improving harmony in the relationship between humanity and nature, and to help people connect with nature. And the sanctuary provides that framework for science to have a positive impact.
My name is Cass Schrock. I'm the owner of Monterey Bay Kayaks, and we have been long-time supporters of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary Foundation in the business and tourism sector. We started in 1985 when there was no marine sanctuary and nobody knew what sea kayaking was. We showed them everything from tiny snails that laid eggs in intricate patterns on kelp leaves to the abundant sea lions and harbor seals and sea otters that were swimming by us. There is always something amazing going on in Monterey Bay that amazes me 365 days a year. There's an endless opportunity for learning and experiencing the beauty of the bay, and that inspires me to pass that on to staff and customers. Learning about the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary can change people's lives, and once you're connected to it, you're less likely to act in a harmful way and more likely to become stewards to protect the bay for future generations.
I find my sanctuary in exploring tide pools with school kids. I find my sanctuary in taking water samples in the watershed. There's just so many ways to engage in finding the sanctuary, and each person that I meet has a different relationship with the sanctuary. The ocean provides us with half of the air we breathe. There are so many resources that we take from the ocean, including food. You have people whose lives and livelihoods depend on the sanctuary. The beaches are places where our communities have their celebrations and their weddings and their funerals. And more importantly, you have the cultural and spiritual connection that people have, which I've come to appreciate. Going out on the water is magic. It makes you feel different. There's so much diversity and beauty and all kinds of things that we don't know about what's going on under there. We need to take care of our ocean. It helps moderate our climate. And in this day of accelerating climate change, more than ever, protecting the ocean protects us because it's part of our life support system. In the entire time that I have volunteered with the sanctuary, I have never felt that it was more vulnerable than it is now. Attempts to open up sanctuaries for offshore oil drilling and some of the other threats to destabilize and demolish the protections of national marine sanctuaries have me very concerned and have spurred me into even more action. I really hope that the sanctuary will, in the future, be funded to the point where it has sufficient resources to carry out its mission. There's so much to be done between research and monitoring and enforcement, and the sanctuary needs further resources to take care of this. And given climate change, it's even all the more important that the ocean part of the climate change equation is well funded, well monitored, well researched, because I believe there will be solutions found to recover and slow down climate change that involve the ocean to a very significant degree.
This brunch is a great opportunity for people to support Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, this foundation which is run at its head by Secretary Leon Panetta and former Santa Cruz Mayor Hillary Bryant, who run the board of directors. Brilliant board members including Sam Farr, Fred Keeley, Ted Ballesteri, Nova Covington. This group, under the leadership of chapter director Janaea Kelly, the idea is to promote the sanctuary, to advocate for it, and most importantly, to raise funds for programs like Baynet and Team Ocean and the Whale Entanglement Team. So that's why you're here, and thank you so much for being part of this effort.